Just a quick question for any teacher out there. Are you feeling enslaved? Because this was a debate sparked by the Labour's school SAR last week, talking about how teachers are enslaved by a narrow compliance culture, which is basically having the freedom to plan lessons or just be told this is what you've got to teach. A poll of nearly 10,000 teachers in July by Teacher Tap found 18% of teachers working in local authority maintained schools had total freedom to plan whatever they want. This fell to 13% in large trusts. However, teachers in standalone academies had the most freedom at 25%. Teachers at academies were also more likely to report they had pre-prepared lessons they could adapt, 28% at larger trusts, which was more than double the 13% at maintained schools. Meanwhile, a recent survey of more than 400 trust chief execs found 1 in 5 trusts primarily direct their curriculum centrally, basically meaning that every trust in the school has to teach the exact same thing. Interested to hear what you think about this. I know there will be some teachers who quite like just having their lessons planned for them, pick it up off the shelf and off you go. I'm not like that. I wouldn't be in the position where I now get to do all the training in other schools if I didn't have that freedom, that autonomy to take ownership of what I was teaching and do it in a way that I felt worked best for my students in my school. I think for me, having that autonomy, that ownership and that opportunity to be creative is what brings the fun and joy and engagement in teaching. So there's an argument that having a centralised curriculum reduces workload, may be true, but I just think it takes the fun out of it. I think that the reason a lot of schools go down that route of just picking up schemes and going with them, that death by worksheet and slides approach is because workload is so bad in other places. If teachers are expected to mark in depth 4 different books a day, they don't have time to think and be creative and have that autonomy. I think the majority of teachers are incredibly creative. Unfortunately, we just don't have the time to take ideas and develop them and have that autonomy, which is why you've seen so many schools that conveyor belt of PowerPoint, death by worksheet, PowerPoint, death by worksheet. And I think I'd hate to work in a school that didn't give me the opportunity for me to mold things in a way that I would like. However, I do think it's important to at least have a starting point. So that's not me saying you shouldn't use schemes of work. I think schemes of work have a place, and my school have a number of them, but then we are always given that trust and that autonomy to take something, adapt it, take it in a slightly different direction if we feel that would be better for our students. That can only happen if teachers have time. So I'd love to know what you think. Are you a teacher that loves to have that autonomy, that creativity? Because I know up in Scotland, the curriculum there allows for so much more of that, but some teachers don't necessarily like it. They like it to be a little bit more structured. I think you've just got to find that middle ground. I think having a starting point is great, but then you should always have the opportunity to take things in your own direction, have that autonomy. But this was interesting. 2/3 of teachers polled by Teacher Tap said that if they moved to a new area, they'd rather work in a maintained school than a multi-academy trust. What are your thoughts on that?